When we're installing the big panels next to the fridge cabinets, there are three things we need to be aware of. One is, of course, that the panel is level. Next, that it's sitting tight to the wall. And then, of course, the panel needs to be flush at the top with the cabinets sitting next to it. So in this video, I will share with you how I accomplish just that. Let's get started. Before we can measure to which dimensions this big panel must be cut, it is important to make sure that the cabinets sitting next to that panel are level. And if it's not level, we take some shims and put behind the cabinets towards the wall to make sure that it becomes absolutely level before taking measurements. If we don't do that, we will cut the panel either too long or too short. Before we can take the measurements from the floor to the top of the cabinet, it's important to check whether the floor is horizontal, because as an example, let's say that the floor is falling into the room and you take the measurement at the front of the cabinet up to the top of the cabinet. Then that measurement will be too high, because when you put in the panel, it will be resting at the highest point at the back. As you can see here, I put a shim under my level, so the level is level, and then I measure from the underside of my level up to the cabinet, and then I add the height of the cabinet. That is the height I want to cut that panel in, because it will be resting on the highest point. You may have heard me say this before, but I never cut a panel at the floor. I'd rather that there's a bit of a gap at one end of the panel, either at the back or at the front. Then I cut at the floor and open it up for moisture to penetrate and ruin that panel. So what you see me doing up here is I'm measuring from the wall to the front of the cabinet. If you have not shimmed the rail, that measurement is given already. But sometimes the rail has been shimmed away from the wall, so you need a bit of extra depth to that panel. It's also important to check whether your wall is vertical or not. And I am doing that here with my short level, just to get an indication, and I can see that this wall is not vertical. So I need to do something else. And since I don't have a long level with me to check the whole height of the wall, I'm decided to cut a strip off my panel, because I don't use the full depth anyway. It's 36 inches deep, right? So I'm cutting a strip off and using that as a guide, which I will show you in a second. But first I need to bring that big panel out and cut off a strip of 4 inches or something in the width, so we can use that as a straight edge to see the condition of my wall before I take those final measurements. Before you cut your panel, it's important that you check that it's not damaged, and if it is, you need to plan around that damage, because remember, we are cutting away 3 corners, so you make sure that that one corner that is left on the panel when it is installed is not broken. So check your panel thoroughly. Also, there's often scenes with some dents on the long edge of the panel. So check that out, and then cut a strip off, in this case, of about 4 inches. I use a track saw, but you can also use a circular saw with a jig on for rib cut, or you can also just use the hand saw. I did that a long time ago, and it's not that difficult, but a track saw is very good for this. And when you have cut the strip off, you also need to cut the length, unless you have a really high ceiling. The panel is 96 inches long, and I don't have 96 inches to the ceiling in this kitchen, so I need to cut to the height, and that's about 94.5 inches. And now I can go check my wall to see whether it is flat, or how much I need to adjust my measurements for cutting that panel. Since the panel we are measuring for is between 2 cabinets, this means that there is a rail on the wall between those 2 cabinets at the top. So I need to notch a little bit away of that strip I just cut, otherwise it will not be resting at the wall. So that's what I'm doing right here. Now, when I put this strip of panel between those 2 cabinets against the wall, and I put my level on it to make sure that it is absolutely vertical, I can add a few shims at the bottom in this case, because the wall is leaning forward at the top. So if I add a few shims at the back until that strip of wood is vertical. I know now that I need to add a bit of extra material at the back of that panel at the bottom. Otherwise, it won't fit to the wall. Luckily, this wall is fairly flat. So it's only about 1/4 inch I have to add at the bottom, and then in a straight line up to the top. Then my panel will fit the wall perfectly. With that measurement in mind, that the bottom of the panel has to be 1/4 inch deeper than the top, I can put away my strip and go cut the big panel. But before I do that, I want to add that if you think that I'm wasting this 4 inch of panel, think again. The reason I cut it 4 inches is because I know I need a filler between the pantry right there at the back towards the wall. And if I cut that 4 inches in the width, I will have plenty of material for cutting that filler later. So it's not waste, keep it. So here we are back outside, and we can now cut the panel to its final measurements. And I cut the depth of the panel first. Whether you cut the depth of the length doesn't matter, but in this case I have the long track out, so I might as well start by cutting the panel in the depth, or the width, whatever you call it. And when the depth of the panel has been cut, I can bring the short track out and cut the panel to the correct height. And when that is done, I can cut away a bit of the upper back corner to make room for the rail that are sitting between those two cabinets. So I do that right here. And with that done, the panel is ready for installation. So here we are with the big panel again, and now I can just push it in between the wall cabinet and the fridge cabinet and see if it fits. And it does. So my measurements were correct, and I can double check with my level that the panel is level. Before I secure it into the side of the fridge cabinet, I add a few shims under the panel at the front. And as you may remember, the floor was falling into the room, so now there is a gap between the panel and the floor. And for now, I'll just add a shim there, which I will cut to fit when it's all finished and installed. When the panel is sitting absolutely vertically correct, we can secure it into the side of the fridge cabinet. I'm sorry that I did not bring my camera up into the fridge cabinet, but there's nothing to it. Just pre-drill so you make sure that you poke all the way through the cabinet side and a tiny little bit into the panel. If you use the screws that IKEA provide, the one that comes with a cabinet, you will make sure that you will not have the screw coming through on the outside of that panel. That will be a disaster. So if you use that screw, be sure not to make it any deeper into the cabinet than flush. Then you're perfectly fine. When the panel has been secured into the fridge cabinet, it's time to secure it into the wall cabinet to the left of the panel. And before you do that, you must make sure that the fridge cabinet is moved all the way to the left, so there's no gap between that wall cabinet and the panel. And that is why I just used my hand to give it a good slam on the side to move to the left and eliminate any space between those two cabinets. Before we put screws from the inside of the wall cabinet into the big panel, it is important once again to check that this cabinet is level. And if it isn't, you can add some shims at the back if it needs to be moved away from the wall. And if it has to come closer to the wall, you might have to remove that plastic spacer that is sitting at the bottom of the cabinet. And that is easily done with your fingers, even with the cabinet in place. And when the cabinet is perfectly vertical, you can secure it into the side of the panel, just like we did before. Use the counter bit drill and use the same screws as before. And be careful at the bottom there, you don't want to have it to go through the panel again. At the top, you don't have to worry because we got the fridge cabinet sitting on the other side of that panel. And when the cabinet has been secured into the side of the panel installation is officially finished in this case. If you're wondering why there is no base cabinet sitting next to the panel, but there is this sort of a frame, I can tell you that that is because that's where the dishwasher goes. And in order for the countertop company to get accurate measurements without this big panel being in place, I have to build a frame that was showing the countertop company exactly where the panel would sit. Otherwise, there is a chance that the templating of the countertops would be wrong. And we don't want that to happen either. So that's why I built that frame. I have a video showing much more about this in great details. And if you click up in the right hand corner, there is a link if you want to see that video. If you were wondering what I was cutting away here just before, it is the shim. Whatever is protruding from below the cabinet, I cut that away so it's not in the way when they come and put on the backsplash. With a bit of final adjustment of the door, this panel on the left side of the fridge is completed. And that means we can move on to the panel on the right side of the fridge. And the procedure is pretty much the same as we just did. The only difference is we don't have to cut away a bit on the top to make room for the suspension rail, because there is no rail sitting outside that fridge panel. So since they're pretty much identical, I'm not going to go through everything again, but I do want you once again to see what I did. So I will just let the video run and you can skip forward to those parts that have your interest. Now the panel installation is almost complete. I want to share one thing with you, and that is, since we don't have a cabinet to the right of this panel where we can secure the panel into at the bottom, what I do is I take some 90-degree small brackets and I put them on the side of the panel on the inside and secure them into the wall. I'm not going to show you this because this is basic, simple do-it-yourself stuff. A 90-degree bracket with a screw into the wall and a screw not too long into the panel. I usually put one at the bottom and one in the middle. So there's two brackets, one at the floor and one halfway up towards the fridge cabinet. And that will prevent this panel from moving sideways. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you will enjoy these videos too.